All right, guys, welcome to episode 5. So, the big hospitality tech players get all the headlines, but some of the most interesting companies in this space are the ones you haven't heard of yet. This is called The Next Ones. It's a new series on short conversations with the founders building what's coming next in hotel tech. And today I'm with Jan Saagun, founder of Trellis and STR Tech Report. So let's get into it. I'm going to add him to the stage. Hey, Jan, how you doing?
Good, and you, Edward? Nice to meet you. Nice to see you finally, and it's good to be on the podcast.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you, man. I was really excited to speak to you today. So, just jumping quickly into my first question: what is Trellis and STR Tech Report, and what problems are you solving with them?
Very good question. Very similar problems. I think I'll start briefly with STR Tech Report. For those that are watching, I'm pretty sure you're aware of HotelTech Report, so it's going to be something very similar to that, but exclusively for the short-term rental industry. So essentially, it's a directory of all the different tools that a property manager might need to start a business in short-term rentals or scale their own business. And it also goes beyond that, kind of like HotelTech Report. So we have different resources like podcasts, associations that you might join, top voices in the space to follow, and a lot of articles and a newsletter, etc. So that's STR Tech Report, and it's kind of helping any property manager navigate the very overwhelming tech ecosystem in short-term rentals that can be very noisy. And then Trellis is the future of short-term rentals, right? So we're not building yet another static tool, static software that you will add to your tech stack and that you need to adapt to. But we're essentially building an agentic infrastructure, which is the Trellis. If you know what a Trellis is for plants, right? So the platform, right? The base that basically integrates with all the tools that you already use, right? So PMS, pricing, operations, comms, etc. And that will allow you to build endless agentic workflows around your own specific needs. And that will be the vines that will be growing, right? So those workflows will allow you to automate basically all the manual work that you are doing, like across, all the different tools that you're using, because short-term rental operators have a very fragmented tech stack. They use many tools and they spend a lot of time stitching them together because they don't, integrate. They integrate, but they don't really talk to each other. So it's a lot of, tab switching, etc. And a lot of time wasted there. And there's a lot of data that falls through the cracks. So we've kind of like solving that pain point. And so we're allowing operators to go from operating, right? And, answering messages, creating tasks, assigning tasks, coordinating information across different stakeholders, which is the main job of a property manager, to being a designer. So they're the ones that are going to be designing the guest experiences and how the operations need to run for their own business, because it's not the same, running chalets in Courchevel and maybe, some apartments in Barcelona, right? So they will be able to, build their own way of managing their properties through AI agents instead of like, human intensive capital, essentially. So what's very cool about Trellis is that it's not only these agents that will run your short-term rental operations end to end, that they're also going to build the interface, the software, the modules, the dashboards to manage it, so that you can have that kind of like, Jarvis type of, executive dashboard that allows you to see what you want to see. So in short-term rentals and in hotel tech and in hotels, most people need the basics, right? Like a unified inbox, right? They need like a task management platform. They need pricing. They need these different things. So you'll be able to have this, but only with the different modules that you really need. Most software, they just give you like a shit ton of modules. I think I read this somewhere where like most property managers and maybe hoteliers as well, they use 30 or 40% of what the software is actually providing them, right? So it's like kind of like one size fits all, but in reality is what size fits none. And that's why they end up using all these point solutions on top of their PMS, because it's not really solving all the pain points they have, right? So what is really interesting, and I think with hotels it's kind of the same, is that as a property manager grows, there's more and more, humans that spend their days stitching together these connected tools, because more you grow, the more tools you add to your tech stack to fix
Yeah.
different issues, point solutions, etc. And so there's, guest issues, tasks, dispatching, follow-ups, and all of these is going to fall through the cracks. So, there's no really AI that has fixed it, because all the AI that we have right now is just AI bolted on top of a system that is not AI native. It's not fully operable by AI, right? And it can only chat. It cannot really see the operations end to end. So what Trellis is doing essentially is that it's unifying all the operational context of a business and giving it to agents so that they can operate the operations end to end. So in one sentence, because I know I spoke a lot, it's basically a digital copy of your business that will be run through agents, and these agents will also be able to build the interface for you to, kind of like have an overview of what's going on and have more control over the operations.
That's awesome, man. What made you guys start Trellis?
It's a very good question. I think for me personally, is having talked to thousands of property managers and having always had these pain points that I mentioned coming over and over again, I never had the solution for them to solve this pain point. So I was like, I hope one day I'll be able to build something that will really allow to, solve this fragmentation of tools. And then another thing that I really find like novel is like, I think like this is the way I see life. It's about building experiences and creating, moments that will be memories, right? And in the hospitality industry, most people and the people that travel, essentially, they spend most of their years working to then afford a trip and go on vacation, right? And so for me, being able to build a solution that will allow to deliver a higher quality standard of travel for these people that really deserve, we owe them to offer them a nice stay that is clean when they arrive. And being able to contribute to that for me is really cool. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm so excited about what I'm doing. Yeah, hope I answer your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think this is my favorite question to ask the founders. What stage are you guys at right now?
So we grew extremely fast during Y Combinator. So we were there for 3 months in San Francisco. And starting May 4th, I think, we started generating revenue. We started charging customers. And so we went from 0 to almost 50 property management companies and over 4,000 listings, which represent around 600K ARR. So we had an exponential growth during that time before we raised our round. And right now, the stage we're at is, I don't know how it is for HotelTech. I imagine it's kind of the same, but for STR Tech, the conference season starts in September. From September to beginning of December, it's super busy. I'm going to be traveling all over the place. And so the stage we're at right now is we're regrouping all of us. We rented a villa in Cyprus. We're bringing the whole team here. And we're just going to be like grinding 7 days a week, 16 hours a day to push the product even further, and then get ready for conference season and just go, show the world about the future of short-term rentals, essentially.
That's so cool. That's so cool that you guys got that rental. I'm pretty jealous. I should probably do that with my team at some point. Who's your solution for? So I know, before this call, you talked about STR, which for those of you who don't know, stands for short-term rentals. But in your own words, who's it for?
I would say property management companies that manage short-term rentals, but I think, and we're already seeing it, we have a couple customers that even do mid-term rentals. We have some customers that have boutique hotels. I think as we were discussing before the call, I think these two industries are merging and converging more and more. PMS is, being present in both sectors. So I would say, our core ICP right now is mostly like mid-market. So like around 100 listings, 100 units. We're going up market. We're starting to onboard some enterprise customers, like 3,000 listings, 6,500 listings, etc. But the reality is it's for anyone that is basically having trouble scaling their business because they're too busy in the operations and they need help. and they need basically more automation to actually get out of that and be able to focus on growth. So we have customers from 8 listings to 600, and now on the pilots 3,000 or 6,000. So it can be really anyone. I think there's a need for automation in any business, essentially, and it depends on the ambition. If you just want to keep just 4 properties, but even I talked this morning to someone with 4 properties, he's an owner, and he's doing this on the side, but it's taking too much of his time, right? So he just wants to be able to kind of delegate this to a system that can be run without him, so that he doesn't need to be that much involved, and he can regain that time to invest it in something else. It can be growing the business, but it can be also going into to vacation, right? Taking vacation. So it really depends, but I think that the need is for everyone.
Of course, yeah. How would you say your solution differentiates itself the most?
Being really AI native, not really being just a buzzword that everyone is using. I would say we literally were born with agents, right? All the solutions prior to November 2024 or 2025, sorry, were built on different systems, more legacy. And so they're saying that it's AI native, but AI native means that the platform can be fully operated by agents, and that they are building solutions for AI agents, not for humans. So most solutions out there are static software, which a property manager or hotelier needs to adapt to, whereas here we're building something that will be adapted to you, not the other way around. So that's the major differentiator, is that you're going to be able to build what you need, and just what you need, and the only things that you will be using, right?
Yeah. Awesome. And we've already touched on some massive wins, but what would you consider your latest biggest win right now?
I mean, the growth that we had was insane, and so I'm very proud of that. And I don't really, stop for a second to think about it. For me, it's normal. But now talking to you and seeing your reaction also, I feel okay, that was a pretty cool milestone, and we should, take some time to appreciate it. Closing the round as well. We recently closed a seed round, pre-seed round, whatever. But we raised some money, which was definitely a cool win. And I would say those two basically.
Awesome, man. Yeah, living the dream. What's your biggest challenge right now?
I think we went over this earlier. It's hiring. It's hiring, and I think that we have extremely high standards, so that also doesn't help. But just to give you an idea, we have 2 product engineers today, which could also be called customer success managers, essentially. But they're unique. These guys are insane. So they're property managers. So they're not operators working for a property management company. They have their own property management company. So they're managing properties, okay? And they self-onboarded themselves to Trellis. And so they got rid of different communication and operations tools that they were using to just have Trellis on top of their PMS, right? And they were even able to cut down their teams with Trellis. And then they are basically onboarding new people into Trellis. But how can I find someone as good as these guys that are technical and actually manage properties at the same time with our own solution? It's really hard to find someone like that. So we're struggling. And then also for the engineers, I feel with all these AI, vibe coding, etc., it's really hard to find engineers that actually understand code or really want to understand and I wouldn't say read, but at least validate things and not just leave everything to AI and just slop out of everything. So I think that's also pretty tricky right now.
Well, I think I know someone that can help you on the recruitment side. I'll let you know after this call. Right. What are you focusing on right now? What's next for you?
Well, that's a great question. So what we're focusing on right now, as I said, is just working extremely hard to push the product even further. So that's why we rented this villa in Cyprus, and we're gonna be doing this every 3 months. That's kind of what we think, to just regroup all together and lock in for a month. And so we just want to push the product even further. to make it towards we want it to be. I think we always want it to be more and more, and just seeing like how AI is evolving. That's never gonna end. But basically, our priority right now is just making the product better, 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 and making our customers extremely happy and deliver even more value than what we're delivering right now. And then just getting ready for conference season. We're just taking things, one step at a time. So we're not thinking 12 months from now. We're just thinking like 3 months by 3 months, essentially.
Amazing. I'd love to know, I'd love for the audience to know more about your background. So apart from knowing about 16 different languages, tell us about you.
Well, I have a background of a student athlete, so I played ice hockey at the highest level in France, and I also studied a lot. I did 3 masters because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. So I did 2 masters at the beginning, finance and entrepreneurship, because I wanted to break into venture capital. And I was in Canada, and I got an offer from a team in France, in Lille, to play there, and I really wanted to, so I left Canada to go there. And there was only one VC firm there, and they didn't like hire for internships, so I ended up working in investment banking. I really got bored from it, and so I decided I would do another master's in something less quantitative. And so I went into international business at Dauphine in Paris, and I started working in procurement. So I was doing like IT purchases, so like buying infrastructure, software, etc. And so I got to see tech salespeople from the other side. I felt like, oh, that looks really cool. Like it's way more challenging than what I'm doing. Like buying is super easy. I just speak. But like when you sell, like it looks more like sports and what I liked. And so I just applied to many jobs after I graduated, and I ended up working in HotelTech. So I've worked across multiple companies in the industry until I found my co-founder, and we decided to launch this.
Amazing, man. Now you've got 2 choices. Either give us the best advice you've heard or a joke that you've heard lately.
I wish I had a joke because I love jokes, but I haven't heard many lately.
That's the same thing.
So I'll give you an advice that we got from YC, and this might sound very cheesy or cringe, but it really helped us. I think that at the beginning, when you launch your own business, whether it's a tech company or like a property management company or hotel business, etc., I think that it's important to do things that don't scale at the beginning, right at the beginning, just to have that exponential growth as we had. So instead of like thinking too much about strategy and like stuff like that, just execute, just grind. And so that's what we did during these 3 months. And if we would have spent too much time thinking about strategy and stuff like that, would have gotten to the point where we are right now. Now, to then scale the company to the next level, you need to pause a little bit and think about strategy and build scalable systems. And that's what we're doing right now. Those are the priorities. But at the beginning, when you start, just grind, just pure grind and execution.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
We agree with that. I learned that way too late in life. Yeah. I used to be one of those planners that just plans and plans and plans, and at the end has nothing to show for it. So yeah, totally agree with that. Jan, thank you so much for your time. Super inspired, and we'll be in touch. I'll tell you about that recruiter. That's really good.
I can't wait to hear about it. And thank you so much, man. It was really nice finally meeting you and jumping on your podcast. You're doing amazing things, so can't wait to follow along. And I'm sorry we went over time, man. I'm sorry. I speak too much. My Spanish background, man. It's just the way I am. I just speak too much.
Don't worry about it. It was super interesting. Thank you so much, Jan. Have a great weekend. Cheers.
You too, man. See ya.
That's it, guys. Let me know what you thought, if I'm asking the right questions, if it's the right format. And yeah, if you know anyone else who's building something awesome that maybe the hotel tech or the STR sector haven't heard of yet, give me a shout. I'd love to have you. Cheers.